Whenever a new translation to a PS1 game comes out, I like to give it a try. I mean, it's basically a chance to play what is more or less a new game for the system, even if they are technically not new at all. One that popped up and interested me quite a bit was this one, Ancient Roman. I mean, look at these screenshots. It totally has that Final Fantasy VII Saga Frontier pre-rendered background look. And since it received a translation, it must be worth playing, right? Now, normally I like to show actual copies of these games, since I live in Japan and can get them more easily and cheaply than the average Westerner. But for this game, yeah, that's way too much, so sorry. I mean, you're not missing much. It's just the game's characters on a white background, which some people would call extremely lazy. God, who does that? Anywho, on to the game. Ancient Roman. Does this take place in ancient Rome? No, it takes place in a generic fantasy land. You play as Kai, who lives as a worker in some small town, I guess. I'm kinda confused if you're like a miner or what exactly you do or why you live in these huts with other people. But anyway, you start off being told to cease work. Sweet. Then you wander around aimlessly, talking to your fellow villagers/workers. You'll probably notice that everyone moves around in an incredibly jerky, awkward way. The cutscenes and even the text comes in like this as well. It may look like Final Fantasy VII, but it definitely doesn't feel like it. After wandering around a bit, you stumble onto an evil plot to destroy the village, along with those who live there. You warn your co-workers of this, then you start battling. They're turn-based battles, with you and your enemies going back and forth, duking it out. Really innovative stuff. And yes, these battles are just as awkward and jerky as the rest of the gameplay. Actually, aside from the visuals, the sound is awkward as well. Listen to this. I have a pretty good feeling that this is a case similar to the basement music from Resident Evil Director's Cut, or the options music from Sonic Spinball, where an error in the sound font is causing it to output incorrectly. I could be giving the game more credit than it deserves, but I'm going to give the composer the benefit of the doubt and assume this isn't how he intended it to sound. Seriously, a ton of the music sounds just slightly off. Alright, back to the story. During this initial invasion, you team up with two more characters, a big knight dude, Burke, and a magic-wielding healer girl, Michelia. Certainly, no JRPG has ever had a cast of characters like this before. Oh, and your village got destroyed? Man, this game is just full of original concepts. Michelia's guardian soon dies in a very cheesy cutscene, and then you and your newly formed party head out on a quest to get even, I guess. The overworld isn't the free roaming type like Final Fantasy or Suikoden, but more the path-based type like you get in games like Legend of Dragoon. I kind of like how it looks actually. Anyway, from here you go through new towns, fight more enemies, and hear even worse glitched music. So, this game's writing is not very good. Constantly, upon leaving the village, Kai and Burke keep telling Michelia that things will get more dangerous from here. They just keep bringing it up. Okay, it's dangerous, we get it. Of course, this wouldn't be the fault of the translators, but more the original writers. There doesn't seem to have been a lot of thought put into the story, or, well, nearly any aspect of the game. I say nearly because there are a few things I like. For one, you can save whenever you like. No need to find save points or hotels. Want to save? Do it now. Maybe they knew people wouldn't be able to handle long sessions of this game. The other thing I like is the look of the backgrounds. It's similar to Final Fantasy VII, where the proportions are often slightly off. You'll go into these tiny houses to find rooms with gigantic beds. As more and more RPGs with pre-rendered backgrounds were made, you started to get more realistic proportions, more in line with the backgrounds of Resident Evil. But this game, Final Fantasy VII, and Saga Frontier have a very specific look to them that wasn't quite as common, but has a certain charm that you gotta appreciate. Or not. I guess that's up to you. Really, this game was clearly made on Final Fantasy VII's heels. After the game's intro finishes copying Star Wars, it quickly starts to look an awful lot like FF7's intro. Still, I guess it does ever so slightly up the ante on that game in a few departments, such as the ease of saving, and the fact that the FMV cutscenes are actually voiced. So, is this game worth playing? Well, if you're a fan of the graphical style, or simply need to try every RPG released on the PS1, you may want to check it out. For most people though, I'd say this one is safe to skip. The choppy frame rate and awful sounding music alone would be enough to turn most players off. There could be a lot of legit reasons why a game like this was translated, but if I had to guess, I'd say it was less about the quality and more about the rarity. If you like this review, be sure to subscribe to see more like it in the future, as well as series reviews and gaming roundups. I occasionally do live streams as well. Anyway, with that said, as always, thanks for watching The Legend of Games.